So today let us learn how to learn SQL. Okay, suppose you are appearing for an interview and there is an interview question, something like this. Write a SQL query to retrieve the top 5 customers who made the most purchase. Now this is the interview question. You have got two tables. The first table is the customers tables, which has got customer ID and customer name. And the second table that we have is the orders table, which has got order ID, customer ID, order amount, and the order date. Now, customer ID is the common column between the two tables. Now, let us think about the query that we want to form. So, first of all, we are asked to share the list of top 5 customers. So, in the output table, there would be three columns. Let's say I want to display. The first column I want to display is customer name, customer ID, and the third column that I want to display is total purchase. So this is how we can start customers dot customer ID, comma customers dot customer name. So we would be reflecting customer ID and customer name. Third column that we want is most purchase or the total purchase. So how can we get the total purchase? For that we have to use the sum function. So what I'll do, I'll make use of the sum function. Sum of what? Sum of the order amount, which is present in which table? That is present in the orders table. So what I will do, I will write this like orders, which is the name of the tables, dot order underscore amount. So this will give me the total purchase for every single customer. Let's say I want to name this table as total underscore order. So I'm just naming that this is the name of the table. So if you are clear until this part, the next thing that we want is select all these columns. So we have to mention from which table. So as I said, we would be fetching these values from the customers table. So I will be mentioning select these values from customers. Then we need to make use of the join. Which join we can use? We can use the inner join, because inner join will give us the common values between the two tables. So you can either say join or inner join, both is fine. So I'll say inner join. So inner join we would be applying on which table? So firstly we have customers table. The second table that we have is orders. So we would be applying it on the orders table. Okay, very easy until now. Now you need to think about it logically. What can be the next step? We are applying a join. So we apply join based on a common column in both the tables. What is that common column? That common column is customer ID. So what we will do, we will just say that customers dot customer ID is equal to orders dot customer underscore ID. Okay, that means we are applying the join based on the customer ID, which is a common column in both the tables. Now hold on for a moment and think about the next part of the query. We need to group these data, right, based on certain parameter. What do you think we are trying to get the data? So we want to group the data based on the customers, isn't it? That means we want to group these data based on the customer ID and customer name. Okay. So if we group the data for customer ID and customer name, then for all those customers, we will be getting the total purchase. So the next part of the query is group by. So I'll mention group customers ID, comma customer underscore name. Okay. Now what is the next step that we want? The next step that we want is we want to sort these data based on the total orders. So what I will do, so I will make use of order by, and order by based on what? Can simply make use of this new column that we are trying to create. So both works. So I'll just put it here, and then instead of we wanted in the descending or ascending order. So I wanted in the descending order. The customers with the highest order amount would be at the top. So I'll be mentioning descending. And the last thing that we want is, if you see the question, we need this data only for the top 5 customers. So limit 5. So we are limiting the output for only 5 customers because we want only top 5 customers. So now I think we are pretty much ready with the query. So let us run this and see if we are getting any error or if we are able to get the output. So let's run this. So we are getting an error. So the moment you get an error, don't look out for the solution outside. Hold on for a moment and think about it. What exactly have we done wrong? So if you have a look at the syntax, orders on, so on keyword was missing, that's why we were getting this error. The error message is also reflecting to this particular line only, so we are missing this on keyword, that's why we are getting the error. So I have made the correction. Now let us run this again and see if this really works. I run this. and this time around I get the output having customer ID, customer name, and total orders. As we can see, these are the 5 customers who have done the most purchase. Okay, so I hope you are able to understand this. Now let us try one more question. So this time around we need to find the average order value for each customer. So that means output table will again have the 2 columns that are customer ID and customer name. The third column that we need is average order value. That means we need average of what? Average of the orders. So that means in the order amount, we can see various values. For every single customer, we want to find the average. So we will be making use of the average function. Average of what? Average of the order amount. Order amount is in which table? So orders table dot order underscore amount. Okay. Let us go slow by slow. There is no hurry. Let's say we want to name this column as average order value. So I'll just mention this as avg underscore order underscore value. Until this part, the things were quite similar. The only difference is that in this particular question, we are supposed to share the average order for each customer. So that's why I'm making use of the average function. Okay, this will give me the average for every single customer. Now you tell me from which table we have got these columns. So we have got this column from the customers table. So I'll be mentioning from customers. Now you tell me based on the previous example which join we can use. We can use the same join, that is inner join. So I'll be using inner join. Okay, inner join on which table? So we would be again making use of the orders table. So last time around we had made a mistake that we had not used the on keyword. Okay, so on which 2 columns we want to apply this inner join? So we already know we want to apply this based on the customer ID. So again I'll be making use of the same syntax, that is customers dot customer ID is equal to orders dot customer ID. That means the next thing that we want is we want to group this data. Now you tell me based on what parameter we want to group this data. Same thing, we want to group this data based on the customers only, right? So what I will do, I will say group by. Group by based on what? Customer ID and customer name. So let us copy the same syntax, that is customers dot customer ID and customers dot customer name. So I think we are able to group by until this point. Now the last thing that we may need is we want to order by. We want to make use of the order by keyword for the sorting purpose. So let's just say that I want to order by based on the same column that I have created, that is average, right? So the customers with the highest average would be on the top. So I'll be mentioning this as descending. If I want it in the ascending order, I can do that as well, not a problem. So okay. So I think our query is pretty much ready. So now let us run this and see the output. So I'll run this, and the moment I do that, I can see I'm getting the output. Okay, the one with the lowest average is at the top and the one with the highest average is at the bottom, that is 10.13. However, there is a slight problem with this output. The problem is that there are too many numbers after the decimal. Okay, so what I can do is I can make use of the round function. So how can I do that? I'll just wrap this average with the round function and then comma 2. So when I say 2, that means in the round function, if I'm mentioning comma 2, that means after the decimal, after this decimal point, there would be 2 digits. So let us run this and see if this actually works. And as we can see, now we are getting the proper output for the 2 decimals. So I hope this is clear to you. I want you to practice this. I'm sharing the queries required to create these 2 tables. So you can copy this query from the description of the table and practice it at your end as well. I'm trying to teach you how to learn SQL. Okay. If you find that this way of teaching is useful to you, you please put that in comment and let me know. If you're not okay with this teaching methodology, that is also fine. You can mention that as well. Based on your response, I will be planning the upcoming videos. Okay. Thank you so much for watching.